feel it coming. You know what I can feel coming? The Barnes Noble's Criterion sale, that's what I feel coming. If you're someone who buys Criterions at Barnes Noble's, you know they have a 50% off sale twice a year, once in summer and once in the fall, winter time, and now is that second time. It usually starts at the end of October, the last week of October, or like the first or second week of November. I don't know if it's going to be the same time this year since the summer sale was delayed like a week or two, so hopefully this one is not delayed, but you never know. But I'm just like, the sale is coming again, and I want to talk about what I'm going to buy. Ever since the summer of 2017, when I learned about Criterions, I've been participating in the Barnes Noble's 50% Criterion sale, and behind me you can see all my Criterions, and yeah, I think in the 3 years that I've been doing this sale, I've collected a pretty good amount of Criterions, and I'm ready to collect more. The last Criterion haul I did, which was the first video I ever made for this channel, yeah, that one emptied my pockets. My bank account was hurting. It was hurting so much when I finally had to pay off all those credit card bills. I was like, this is not cute. But the Criterion sale this time around, I'm not expecting to spend as much as I did last summer. What was that? Whatever. Yeah, so as I said before that weird blah 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 mouth fumble happened, I'm not expecting to spend as much this time around, but I still am going to get a pretty good amount of Criterions. But in this video I just want to talk about the 10 that I really want to get this sale. I mean, I'm obviously going to buy more than 10 because I can't help myself every time the sale happens, and I buy one or two or maybe a few more Criterions that I weren't expecting to buy. Wasn't. My mouth is not on point today. But yeah, when you go into the whole Criterion sale, you have to know exactly what Criterions you're after and to get them before they run out of stock, because this past summer, in the summer Criterion sale at Barnes Noble's, basically all their stock was gone, and it was hard to get some of the ones I wanted, and I had to wait until basically the last week of the sale when they restocked, and it was a whole mess. So you really gotta go guns blazing, knowing what you want, and to get there before anyone else gets there, because you might not be able to get the item you want if you don't get it first. Before I get into this whole telling you what I am going to get at the Criterion sale this time around, I'm not saying I'm going to get it, I'm saying I want to get it, but we'll see if I get to it before it runs out of stock. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, before I get into the whole video as a whole, I'm just going to say you should subscribe. Today is not the day for my mouth. I should re-record this, but you know what? Who cares? Who cares at this point? But anyway, subscribe if you want to, because yeah. Yeah, subscribe. Okay, with my whole mouth fumbling, maybe it's gonna fumble more as this video goes on, but we shall see. I really am just like, who cares today? It's a Saturday. I do not care. My vibe is like, whatever. I'm feeling cozy since it's cold with my little Christmas sweater. I basically said Halloween is canceled. But anyway, let's get into the video now. So I'm just gonna do this by alphabetical order of the titles. I was gonna do it by year or by spine number, but then I was just like, we're just gonna do it by alphabetical. Also, I am not gonna be describing the plot to any of these movies. Y'all can Google it. I'm not feeling it today, but at the same time I was feeling enough to make this video, so I'm like, if you collect Criterions, you should already know what these movies are about. But if you don't collect Criterions or know about Criterions, then that's what Google and IMDb is for, honey. So the first movie I want to get from the Barnes Noble's Criterion sale is 1999's Beau Travail from Claire Denis. Did I say that right? It's French, and I'm like, ooh, I took 3 years of French, and did I say that right? I don't know. This is a very recent Criterion release from them. I'm just like, I think it came out in September, and it's one of their newer Criterions that just was released, as I just said. I'm being messy right now. Anyways, it's from Claire Denis, as I said earlier, and when it comes to her work, I'm just like, I'm very mixed on her work. What have I seen from her? I've seen Beau Travail, this movie that we're talking about. I've seen White Material. I've seen High Life. I don't know if I've seen anything else. I think just those 3 movies. But I'm trying to watch Let the Sunshine In since that's on Hulu. God, my mouth just will not stop stuttering or flubbing up my words today. Ugh. This movie was recently restored in 4K, so when I watched it, it was pretty great. It looked amazing. The movie itself, I don't know if I was able to pick up on everything the movie was trying to say. And in the special features of this movie, they have a conversation between Barry Jenkins and the director Claire Denis, and it was happening. They recorded it via Zoom since we're in the COVID Zoom era right now, so they couldn't have a sit down, but they were over Zoom. Like, I think it's a half an hour segment where they're talking about the movie and how it's relating to things right now in our times. And I was just like, wow, I did not pick up on any of that. Barry Jenkins was just like, this and this, and how that little thing just shows this, and I was like, whew, my brain must have not been on when I was watching this movie, because I did not get any of that, and I felt stupid. But which is why I'm like, we will return to this movie by buying it. Because I think even though I didn't understand a lot of it, that I liked it enough that I will buy it. It's not like White Material where I was like, I'm confused with what's going on, but I need to revisit that. Claire Denis' work in general is very hard for me personally to decipher, but a lot of people like her work, and I'm just like, I need to figure out why people like her work. I mean, I've liked her work, like, in general, like, it's okay, but people are like, these are amazing movies, and I'm like, what am I not seeing? Okay, so the next Criterion that I'm planning on getting at the sale is 1990's The Comfort of Strangers from Paul Schrader. If you have the Criterion channel, which you should because it's a great channel and a great streaming service, then you can be able, is that the right phrasing? Yeah, you are able to. You are able to? Yes, you are able to watch this movie since it's streaming on the service, and that's how I watched it, and have complex feelings about this movie. The movie is beautifully shot, and everyone in the movie is very hot, from who's in the movie? Christopher Walken, Helen Mirren, Natasha Richardson, and who's the guy? Rupert Everett. So they all hot, and I feel like the movie has something to do with voyeurism. The movie, I was just like, we're in Venice, we all looking hot. I'm confused with what's going on, but going for the journey. The ending had me gagged, and I was like, how did we get here? I don't know. I didn't read no book. I didn't read the book that this is based on, so I'm like, maybe the book established what was going on more, but the movie is kind of interesting. Okay, so I didn't know if I used the word voyeurism right, so I googled it, and it says the practice of gaining sexual pleasure from watching others when they are naked or engage in sexual activity dash enjoyment from seeing the pain or distress of others. And I'm pretty sure all that happens in this movie, so yes, I did use voyeurism right. I don't really like the cover art for the movie. I feel like the Criterion people could have chosen a better artist to get the cover art for this, but I'm just like, okay, a better artwork would have sold me a bit more on this movie, but you know what, I'm just like, I don't get it, because I like Paul Schrader's work, so I will try it again. I can try it again. I mean, I could always just watch it again on the channel, but I'm like, sometimes I just like to own stuff. So the next movie I'm planning on getting is 1967's Dragon Inn from King Hugh? H-U? How does that sound? I don't know, but I own A Touch of Zen, so I was like, I need to get this movie as well. I actually watched this movie before I watched A Touch of Zen. I bought A Touch of Zen at the last sale, and then I just blind watched it, and it was a good movie, but I prefer Dragon Inn, so I'm coming back for Dragon Inn. I didn't get it last sale because I was gonna get it halfway through the sale, but then when I went back to get it, it was sold out, and I was like, this sucks. So now I'm just like, we gotta get that movie this time around. But yeah, I just think the movie is really great. I love the martial arts going on in the movie, some bad bitch characters. There's only one woman in the group, and I'm just like, she does the work, and I always live for a woman warrior in these types of movies. I'm just like, yes, get those guys. Get them. Seriously though, out of all the movies I've talked about already, this is the most entertaining one in the batch that I'm going to talk about. Actually, it might not be the most entertaining. The most action-packed, most thrilling. Maybe not most thrilling. We'll see. We'll see when I talk about the other movies that I think might be more thrilling. But this movie's just a lot of fun, and if you like old-fashioned action movies from the Far East, yes, the Far East Asia, then this might be something up your alley, because it certainly was for me. It kind of was giving me more practical martial arts than Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or even A Touch of Zen. So if you like martial arts being more practical, then I think this movie would be better suited for you. But yeah, I am very excited to get this one in particular. So the next movie I plan on getting at the sale is 1980's The Elephant Man from David Lynch. And I gotta say that this really might be the most straightforward, like, not most exciting David Lynch movie I've ever seen. And I've seen The Straight Story, and for some reason, like, when I think about that movie, I'm like, that one just seems more exciting than this one. And I'm just like, wow, interesting. I watched this movie for the first time recently, and it did kind of bore me. I mean, it's based on real life, and it has a good cast, and it is well done, but it did kind of bore me. I'm not a fan of Eraserhead, but at least with Eraserhead, I was like, what's going on? And my attention was like focused on the movie. With The Elephant Man, I was just like, my eyes kind of glazed over at points, and I was like, this is sad that this is happening. And I was just like, okay, but what now? What now, people? I really love how Mel Brooks produced this movie, but he didn't put his name on it for people to see because he didn't want people to see it, his name, and be like, oh, this is gonna be a comedy. He was like, no, I don't want people to get the wrong intentions about what this movie is, and I'm just like, noble. Also, his wife Anne Bancroft is in this movie, so I'm like, he probably was like, we need some star power in this movie, honey, since I'm pretty sure Anthony Hopkins wasn't that famous around this time, and John Hurt, I don't know if he was famous either around this time, but he was under prosthetics so no one could see his face. And the director, David Lynch, as we all know, we love him now, but this was only his second feature, so he was really relatively an unknown director. So I don't think, unless you had Anne Bancroft in this movie, you wouldn't be getting, like, a good enough release. And I'm like, I don't think without even Mel Brooks producing, it would have been made, this movie. So if it wasn't for the two of them, this movie probably wouldn't have been made. The next movie I'm planning on getting at the sale is 1967's In the Heat of the Night from Norman Jewison. What can I say about this movie other than it's a Best Picture winning movie, it's a Best Actor winning movie? Hold up. Does it win any other Oscars? Oh, it won 3 more. What are those 3? Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Sound, and Best Film Editing for Hal Ashby. Yes, iconic. But yeah, this movie, when I first watched it, I was like, this is okay. I don't think it's aged the best, but for the time it came out, it was what the people needed in terms of race relations and racism and all that. So yeah, I'm just like, it is an iconic landmark movie, Best Picture winner, as I said before. And yeah, that scene where this white man who the police and my god, I can't remember off the top. Oh, I remember before I even changed the page. Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier is a detective who's down south, and he's with the police, and they're interrogating this white man. And then the white man slaps Sidney Poitier for asking him a question, and then like right after he slapped him, Sidney Poitier slaps him right back, and then the white man and even the police officer, chief, sheriff, whatever he was, were all like taken aback that he had the gall to do that. And I was like, you do that, man. I actually was gonna buy this movie at the last sale, like Dragon Inn, but like Dragon Inn, I was like, I'll buy it the next time I come back, because I was waiting for my credit cards to flip over and for a new statement balance to start. So I was like, I'll get these when my credit card statement balance flips. And when I came back, they were both gone. And then when I was trying to get them online, they were sold out online. And I was like, great. This sucks. But you know what? This time around, I am determined to get this. Yeah. Speaking about Norman Jewison, the next movie that I'm gonna get at the sale would be Norman Jewison's 1987 smash movie, Moonstruck. Yes, I was really hoping that Moonstruck would be a Criterion, and oh my god, when they announced like November's Criterions, and there was only 3 pictures, and I was like, what is happening? Usually there's a 4th picture, there's usually 4 releases, and maybe like a bonus, like 1 or 2 other movies that they release. But I only saw 3 pictures, and I was like, what is happening here? And then when I like clicked their thread, the second movie they were talking about was Moonstruck, and I was like, oh my god, Moonstruck, yes! But when they finally revealed the artwork for the movie, for the Criterion release, I was like, oh, this is what we rated for? It's not anything new. I really wish they did something with the opera, like with her, when I say her, I mean Cher, with Cher and Nicolas Cage at the opera, and her like watching the opera. And if someone like painted that or like drew it, oh my god, that would have been something. This is really one of the Criterion releases that I'm gunning for. I mean, it's not going to be coming out right as the sale happens. It's probably going to be coming out within the period that the sale is going on, but I need to pre-order it when at Barnes Noble so I can get it because this movie is the best. It's one of my favorite movies. I really watched it for the first time, like I think in 2015 or 16, and I love it so much. I love all the performances. I love this movie so much. I love that Sharon won her Oscar for this. Olympia Dukakis' Oscar is still a little bit iffy for me, but I like her in the movie, and the movie won for Best Original Screenplay for John Patrick Shanley. And when I say his name, I just think about Lady Gaga being like, I feel like Cher in that John Patrick Stanley movie Moonstruck. And I'm like, oh god, I can't. Too much pop culture in my brain. But anyway, I love John Patrick Shanley, and I really love his movie Joe versus the Volcano, and also Doubt, his adaptation of Doubt. And yes, this movie has so many people who have gone on to do amazing things and have done amazing things. If you haven't watched Moonstruck, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? This is an amazing movie. It always makes me smile, makes me laugh, makes me cry, puts me in all the emotions that I want to be feeling. Yeah. The next movie I'm planning on getting at the sale is 1948's The Naked City from Jules Dassin. I like Jules Dassin's work. I mean, I own Rafifi, and I've seen already The Naked City and Brute Force, and I love them both. And I recently watched one of his movies that's already in the collection. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but whatever that movie was called, which the picture of the artwork will appear behind me when I'm talking about this, but whatever the movie is called, I thought that one was just okay. And all his movies I've seen so far, they tackle masculinity, and I'm like, very interesting that in the past, like around the time he made these movies in the 40s and 50s, that he was bold enough to be like, this is why masculinity is pretty horrible and pretty fucked up, and how it's a cage and all this junk. And I'm like, wow, the French. The Naked City was already in the Criterion collection as a DVD, and so was Brute Force, but they've both been made into Blu-rays. So yeah, I was like, when I was making this list, I was thinking, do I want to talk about The Naked City or Brute Force? And I was like, The Naked City, because this one was very interesting. This one's a murder investigation kind of movie, and I personally found it a little bit more fun to watch than Brute Force, but Brute Force is pretty good too, so yes. The next movie I want to get at the sale is 2019's iconic Best Picture winning movie, Parasite from Bong Joon-ho. I mean, I already own this movie on Blu-ray, but this one's gonna be a Blu-ray with a 4K transfer, so it's a Blu-ray with a higher resolution than the Blu-ray that was released, so I'm just like, here we go. And also, of course I'm gonna trade in my just regular Blu-ray for a Criterion Blu-ray. I mean, there's gonna be so much special features on this one, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get this version. And also, I've seen how it, like, the case for the Parasite Blu-ray, it's like, at first when I saw the artwork, I was like, this is kind of boring, it's basic. And then someone on Twitter was like, does this like come in a sleeve? That way like the artwork pulls apart. And I was like, interesting. And I saw someone post today that they got it early, and I was like, oh, so it really is a sleeve kind of Blu-ray release, and that like Morse code cover that they have at the front like pulls away from the other one. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's a little bit cool, but yeah, I'm just like very excited to get this in the Criterion collection, and yeah, just very psyched to have it because I think this is a brilliant movie. When I saw it in theaters in Seattle in October of 2019, I was shook. I remember the sequence when the family was coming home from their camping, and they had to clean everything up so fast, and the family was hiding under the table and around the house, and I was just like so scared, and my heart was hurting and pounding. I was like, this is stressing me out. But yeah, love the movie. I watched it I think like 3 times at this point, and after the last time I watched it, I was like, okay, I need to take a break from this movie because I watched it too close in succession to each other, and there was too much discourse around it. So I was like, I'm just gonna put some distance away from this movie for now. I'll probably rewatch it again next year, but it's an amazing movie, and I love that's in the Criterion collection, and I'm really gonna go after it. I need to get it. I don't want to have to wait too long to get it. I just want to be like, give it to me now. The next movie I'm planning on getting would be 1923's Safety Last from Fred Neumeier and Sam Taylor. I'm just like, okay, I guess this silent movie needed two directors. I'm not that big of a fan of silent movies, but I was like, you know what? Let's just add another silent movie to my collection. I already own The Kid Brother, which I love that movie so much. It's my favorite silent movie ever. But I was like, if we're gonna add another silent movie to our collection, it should be from Harold Lloyd. And I do like Safety Last quite a bit. The clock sequence at the end of the movie is all that, like people have said it is. I've seen quite a few Charlie Chaplin movies, but none of his movies really, like, pull me in. But eventually I probably will buy one of his Criterion movies, either Modern Times or City Lights, one of the two. The last movie I'm planning on getting, or not getting, talking about getting in this video, would be 1985's Tampopo from Juzo Itami. Did I say that right? Foreign names, I'm so bad. I really gotta do the research on how to say them beforehand, but I always say that, but I never do. I watched this movie on the Criterion channel just like I did with The Comfort of Strangers. So if you have the Criterion channel, you should watch this movie because it's a lot of fun. It has a nice story and it's basically food porn kind of. Yeah, it kind of is. Like, yeah. So those are like the top 10 Criterions that I'm going to be going after at this sale. Of course, there are other Criterions that I want to buy, but these are the 10 that I really want to get. Like, I really want them. I don't want to wait. I want these Criterions the moment that the sale happens or that they're available during the sale. So if you're going to be partaking in this sale, what movies are you gonna get? And did you like the movies I talked about? I realized most of these movies are old. Like, most of them came out in the 80s, and I'm like, I didn't really realize that till making this video, but I'm like, very interesting. Okay, thanks for watching and coming to my channel, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video if you're subscribed, and yep, my brain is kind of fried right now, and so, whoop, bye.